Hello and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where we bring our A game to great debates. As always, I'm your host, Caden, and we are reunited with our man in the Down Under, the Saucy Aussie Steven. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Glad to be back. I can't even remember what happened last time. I've been so sick recently that just keeps happening, unfortunately. So yeah, apologies for that.
No worries. And of course, we are joined by the godfather of the debate, Jonah. How are you doing, my friend?
Excellent. It is the season of giving, and I just want to give a shout out to all of our fantastic community members who signed up for Secret Santa. Thank you all.
Yeah. Do you have like a Mountain Dew Baja Blast cover on your chair?
Yes. It is a Mountain Dew Baja Blast Snuggie.
Sweet.
I love that. Austin did the same thing when we first got on the call, and you can barely see any of it. Yet both of you bullseye immediately. It was fantastic.
The iconic marketing of Mountain Dew, you can just tell.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not complete without our youngest member of the podcast crew, Austin. How you doing, my friend?
Not bad, not bad. As Jonah said, it's the time of the year, and so I just did my first round of Christmas shopping for the family, so having a good day.
Awesome.
I think calling him the youngest member is also not true. I think I'm still the youngest one.
No.
He's the baby boy.
The baby boy. Yeah, you gotta call him the baby boy then. The
baby boy.
The bearded baby.
Yeah. Reintroducing the baby boy.
Baby. I like that.
The bearded baby. They're starting to sound like a circus freak show.
The saucy Aussie and the bearded baby.
Yeah.
Sunday.
All right, and for our special guest this week, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of welcoming Daniel Bloodworth from the Easy Allies, industry legend. How are you doing?
Hello.
All right, and we have a fun show planned for everybody today. It's all about Metroid. So we've got a Metroid debate coming up between Daniel and Steven, and then a bunch of Metroidvania community questions. And we may actually do a pitch today, depending on how quickly we go. So I'll turn things over now to Jonah for the debate.
All right, my friends. 2D or not 2D? That is the question for the debate today. We have Metroid, 2D Metroids versus 3D Metroids, or Prime, I suppose, for the debate today, with Bloodworth representing 2D Metroids versus Steven representing 3D Metroids. Bloodworth, as our guest, would you like to start or close the debate today?
I don't know. Maybe closed.
Close.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. The thing we didn't get around to is that this is not a thing I'm comfortable with doing. I'm
just to kind of set the tone, so you know to expect. This is not like an academic debate. None of us are professional debaters. It's totally just being silly. So yeah, take the pressure off.
If you've been on the show for like the last 10 minutes of our recording and you think this is going to be a serious thing, then all right. Just a reminder to our debaters that Caden will be our assist trophy today, and Steve-O, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your opening thoughts. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So today I would like to represent and share the love for the 3D Metroid game. It is definitely the underdog in this debate, but the main pillars that I would like to stand on are critical reception, design philosophy, and then also legacy, because I think it's a very important part of the conversation. The greatest thing about 3D Metroid is just how well crafted these maps are, and that is such a difficult thing to do in 3 dimensions. My biggest gripe with 2D Metroid is that, you understand the puzzles very quickly because of those 2 dimensions. It gets very locked in. And so after you've played it for 20 years, it's very fundamentally understandable and a bit maybe slightly too easy in the sense that it makes it harder to think up great ideas for puzzles and stuff like that. Whereas in 3 dimensions, not only is it more difficult to construct, like as you've seen from, as I was saying about Legacy, there's not that many 3D Metroidvanias or Metroid games like out there outside of the 3 Prime games and Other M, but the way you interact with your environment in the 3 dimensions just feels so
30 seconds.
good in 3D. It is one of the greatest 3D platformers out there that's in first person. And that's like an achievement unto itself. Like there's not many first person games that feel good to jump from platform to platform in 3 dimensions, but also like you just get to live in the skin of Samus, like this absolute badass bounty hunter. And it's just like amazing. Using the grappling hook has never felt better than in 3D. There's just so many elements that just feel so good in 3 dimensions.
Nice. What an opener, Steven. Very good. All right, Blood, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your opening thoughts. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Yeah, I think to me, it's funny because you kind of hinted at one of the things I was going to say is that like, yeah, like a lot of the times Metroidvania has like been a thing that's referenced as a 2D genre. Like you see very few times where somebody will like actually refer to a 3D game as a Metroidvania, and then you get into all these debates and stuff. But I think one of the bigger things for me that kind of got lost in the transition to the Prime games is the sense of speed and agility. Metroid Prime is a very tanky feeling kind of game, and I think that that also takes away some of the skill-based aspects of getting around the environments. If you're wall jumping in a Metroid Prime game, you're wall jumping in this place that they've specifically set up and marked as a wall jump location. You can't really do that very many other places, if at all. Shine sparks haven't really been anywhere except I think maybe Other M had, put some in there. But just the amount of craziness and skill that are in there, like I was surprised that they pulled it off so well in Metroid Dread because, the Game Boy game, the GBA game, did that so well too, and just like crazy stuff that you'd have to chain together. Bomb jumping, similarly, like Metroid Prime, they limit you to 3 bombs. Don't they're too afraid of you breaking the game to just let you get unlimited bomb jumps.
30 seconds.
And then I think backtracking also feels like more of a chore in the 3D games, especially like when you look at Prime 2. It's one of the biggest complaints is that final section when you're having to retread the world. And I think because you're more agile and it's more fun to just play and move around in 2D, you don't get as much of that pushback in the 2D Metroid games.
Leaving it there? Leaving 5 seconds?
Yeah, leave it at 5 seconds.
Leaving 5 seconds on the table. Hell yeah. All right. We'll go into our round 2, but first, Austin, let me hear your thoughts, man. I think we had 2 very good openers.
Yeah, both openers are really good. I think I've played a smidgen of the 2D, and I think I played at least one full 3D game, and I remember both being fun. But I think I do agree that the platforming that comes with the 2D is just more, the snappiness of it makes it a lot more fun, in my opinion.
Okay. Caden, as our resident Metroidvania expert, what are your thoughts on the debate so far?
Yeah, so far I agree with Austin. It's pretty solid neck and neck. Strong openers. I think they're pointing out the strengths of each of the types of Metroid games. So yeah, just looking forward to see how they start tearing each other down in the rebuttal.
In the rebuttal. All right, Steve-O, you got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal, sir. 3, 2, 1, debate.
My first rebuttal would have to definitely be around backtracking, because obviously it's a major factor of all Metroidvanias. And I just feel like I'm so much more engaged to return to a 3D environment having to backtrack than a 2D one, because so often it's like You do. And yes, it's cool. You just learn how to shine spark and just, you just dash through like a whole like map level in a 2D Metroid game. But that just means that, oh, you didn't really want to re-explore that. You're done with that. Whereas it's so cool in 3D Metroid games that you return to that map, you look back and you go, oh, I can go this way now. I can go this way now. I can completely avoid all the obstacles, all the space pirates, whatever it is, because I have this new ability. But you're still having to platform, or you're still having to use the mechanics. Whereas, like, a lot of the time, it just becomes this thing of like, get the shine spark, break all the blocks. You don't have to think about anything once you do that in a 2D Metroid. So I really enjoy like the fact that there's still a good amount of platforming that is evolved and still fun as you get later into the game, as you're backtracking in a 3D Metroid. And then also the greatest like stroke of genius from Retro Studios is like the implementation of
30
lore, like
seconds.
which just didn't exist in the 2D games, and having a scan visor that gives you so much dense information, but then so much world building, but it feels correct. Whereas just say you're playing a Far Cry game or an Arkham game or a Tomb Raider game, you're just picking up random recorders that everyone's just tape recorders that everyone's left around, just doesn't make any sense. But in the Metroid game, it makes so much sense, like because she's literally trying to find out what is going on.
Man, Steven, you brought your A game today. You were ready for this. I'm impressed. This is, man, I'm surprised by you, Steve-O. All right, Blood, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Yeah, I guess back to the backtracking thing. I feel like Metroid Prime 3 in particular stands out as one where it was really fun to go through those environments and solve all the puzzles the first time around. And then once you did it, you'd kind of done it. And a lot of the world felt empty to me in there. And then with the visors, the scan visor, it's definitely a give and take, because as you're saying it, like it opens things up more, but it also sort of, with the percentage tracking and all of that, it makes it feel kind of like a chore to do. We're like, oh, I have to stop and I have to scan everything in this room before I move on, especially because there's some like missable scans with bosses and that kind of thing. And I think beyond that, while it's a great device for getting you immersed, I feel like a lot of the other visors that come up in Metroid Prime and the sequels, like they don't feel as memorable. Everything else, like you've got the thermal and you've got the X-ray and you've got all of these things, but like after the fact, like after you've seen this, the bones of your hand in the gun or whatever, they just don't feel like they add a whole lot to the formula
30 seconds.
as simply seeing things like the spider ball in 3D.
All right, you leaving it there?
Mhm.
Leaving 25 seconds on the table.
Oh, 25. Oh well.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I hear seconds and I didn't hear the first part.
Man, this is like, I don't have a lot of experience with the series, but like just getting to hear you two just break it down, it has been so enjoyable. Caden, as the assist trophy, how do you feel so far since we're
interesting
going
how
into the round?
it's interesting how the second round went, because Steven almost focused more on what he perceived as the strengths and the differences on 3D versus 2D, and then Bloodworth like rebutted those strengths. So we heard a lot about 3D Metroid in this round, but not a whole lot about 2D Metroid. So I'm hoping in the final round to hear a little bit more of the strengths of 2D Metroid.
All right, sounds good. What about you, Austin? How you feeling?
I think Bloodworth brought up a lot of memories I forgot of, just like getting to have that visor of like all this detail, and like that first couple of times it happens, you're like, oh, this is so cool. There's so much to learn, and then by like half an hour in, you're just like, okay, I'm not having fun anymore. And I do that with all games. I think I love games that like start throwing like a bunch of info at you, and I'll read through it the first couple times, and then I'm like, okay, I just want to get back to the action. So n- the 2D is all action all the time. So
All right.
I'm definitely leaning that way.
All right, going into the final round, you both still have your assist trophy. You can use Caden if you want to, but it is not a requirement. All right, Steven, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Quick final little bit of rebuttal talking about the weaknesses of 2D Metroid. There's never been a moment in 3D Metroid where you've been jumping onto a little platform and then you just get nicked by one little like gamer or something and then just and miss every single platform on the way down. It's just like the worst experience in video games. And I just wanted to back on track of my 3D Metroid love. I just want to talk about legacy, underexposure, and the future. The legacy of 3D Metroid is the Batman Arkham games. Like Arkham Asylum just doesn't exist if Metroid Prime didn't exist. So, and that also means then on from that, like the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy didn't exist because of that. There's so many games that grew from this massively critically acclaimed video game that undersold like historically. Like, you know, everyone knows that Metroid doesn't sell well, but it's just like how much it has affected the industry is phenomenal, and some of the greatest games have come from those video games. But on the flip side, I think the overexposure of 2D Metroidvania just makes me like appreciate it less and less, like, because I'm just like, it just feels like we've just had too much, like too much of a good thing. Yes, I know Hollow Knight is one of the greatest video games of all time, and everyone has played
30
a single
seconds.
Metroidvania that they just love with such a passion that, you know, obviously birthed from like that Super Metroid love. But I love the fact that there's still such an untapped potential of 3D Metroid. So there's still just years of video games ahead of us, like where maybe we get one every 20 years, we get a 3D Metroid, but it means it's going to be special. And even though you talk about them not looking like there's much to do after you finish a run in 3D, in Metroid Prime Corruption, but that open world in Metroid Prime 4 could have so many puzzles, and
Time.
like it's exciting.
All right. No assist trophy for Steven today. All right.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
All right.
Ash.
Bloodworth, let's close this thing out. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. Reminder, you still have your assist trophy if you want to use it. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that the 2D Metroid games have introduced that feel very iconic in ways that, like, it feels like the Metroid 3D games still kind of lean on. And I think that was like, aside from the story nonsense of Other M, I felt like that was the biggest disappointment. It was just like, oh, here's just a different way to do Metroid in 3D rather than like introducing a whole lot of new mechanics. But like some of those memorable things, like, you know, using like a power bomb in that glass tunnel, and just that feeling like completely unexpected right there. A lot of the music, like the lower Norfair theme, where it's just like you just went into a war zone, and they, you know, very rightly brought that back in Metroid Prime. And then I think the kind of legacy of sequence breaking in 2D Metroids is something that you know, other games do, but I don't think they do it in such a way that, like, oh, even just like a normal person playing through, you're discovering places that maybe I shouldn't be here yet. And, you know, that's just really the case, you know, and I feel like a lot of other games that have that there, it's a lot more intentional of letting people explore in a lot of different directions. Whereas there was like, oh, you kind of are breaking things, but it's okay. You know?
It's okay.
Yeah. And then
30
I
seconds.
think yeah, Super Metroid, I just want to say, has a very distinct horror vibe to it with a lot of the music and creature designs and atmosphere. And then I'll hit the assist trophy. Whatever you want to do for 20 seconds.
All right.
One of the things I think about with 2D Metroid, the 3D Metroid really doesn't have is the challenge, the difficulty. Like 3D Metroid, all those games they're pretty. As long as you get like half the missile expansions and energy tanks or whatever, you're pretty much
15
going to be able
seconds.
to like face roll or one shot anything. But man, like Metroid Fusion, like that game fucks you up. Like if you remember like the spider boss and like the back rooms and like the Omega Metroid, the final boss is
Time.
just horrible.
Blood, you got 15 seconds left.
Oh, I still have it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
still have it.
Yeah, I mean, I just on that horror slant again of Super Metroid, like I felt like, when I come onto that planet surface, every time I want to role play and like check the corners, it's very creepy coming in.
Hell yeah. Damn.
Woo!
Damn. What a great freaking
That was
debate.
a good one.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one to vote for. This is going to be real tough. Caden, I'm going to give it to you. You get to vote first.
Yeah, similar to our last debate, I think like both debaters really presented a lot of good arguments, so it's like I almost just give the edge to like my personal preference. But Steven knows I'm a Prime sicko, baby. Prime 2 is probably like at my top 10, and I think that Steven probably represented the 3D Metroid games better than I could have if I was in his seat. And it was interesting to see the opinions on some of the divisive elements of Prime, like the scanning and the visors and stuff, which I personally think are just like really cool. But yeah, it was a well fought debate, but I give my vote to Steven.
All right, Austin.
I think the longer Steven talked, the more I remembered about playing Prime when I was a kid, and like all the rose colored glasses kind of like settled back in of just like, oh, that was so fun. And then all the stuff you were saying about all like the cutting edge like stuff that the 3D does, and like it feels like they've created something new with it, was always so fun as a kid, because you're like, this is so brand new and amazing. But like, man, 2D is just like so solid. It's just like 3D's trying to like push the envelope and discover better things and how to do stuff, but 2D is just like, we know what we're doing. We've done it well enough for so long, and we're gonna do it even better this time. And I'm gonna have to vote for 2D. I think it's
Oh
just
yeah.
too stable of a guarantee of being a great game.
Right on. Okay, so we got 1-1, and you guys always do this to me, making me the tiebreaker. Man, Steven, you brought the heat this week. You did so good. You know what? There was one thing that Blood talked about that, like, I don't have a lot of experience with either game, but I have played Dread, and when you're talking about Super and how creepy it gets, it just reminded me of the what were they? Nemis, right?
Emmys?
Emmys.
Yeah.
And like you're sneaking through, and then they just all of a sudden pop up, and you see them, and you're like terrified, trying to platform your way away from them. That was so terrifying. But like there was this element, and it's something that I love about the Resident Evil series, which I guess you could kind of classify as a Metroidvania as well, is you can fight back, and while it's still being super creepy. So I think I'm gonna go with Blood on this one, just for talking about the creep factor of some of the 2D games.
You missed out,
It
Steven.
sucks. It sucks
Time
trying
2 creep
to
factor.
trying to fight for 3D Metroid when, like, yeah, Metroid Dread exists and is just such a good example of a modern Metroid game.
Yeah.
Like it's so freaking good.
Oh yeah. But the voting is not over. You guys can go to the Cast Your Votes channel in the Discord and vote for who you thought did it better on the debate. And now it's time for community questions. Take it away, Caden.
All right. Before we continue, just a quick shout out to our patrons. So thank you so much to Dan Gieslin, Pucho, Randall Reborn, Louis Fritz the Fifth. I always want to say that like some kind of Louis Fritz the Fifth, and Cherie Clark.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
And, of course, shout out to our homies Hunter Pearson and Ben Burns for our new logo and music.
Hell yeah.
All right. And just real quick before we actually get into the community questions, just want to do a quick little interview with Bloodworth, give you a chance to plug your stuff and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start, man. I feel like you've been in the industry since before I knew what a video game, like before my brain probably even came on, and yeah, it just seems like you have so many connections. You just have been to all the events. I don't know what the most recent thing you've been to, maybe like Tokyo Game Show.
Tokyo Game Show was the latest event. Yeah. But this year
Nice.
was a crazy travel year. It was a TGS, I was at PAX, I was at Gamescom, I was at GDC, I was at DICE, I was at the Switch 2 reveal event in New York,
Wow.
Montreal, Warsaw, Krakow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
Big travel year.
Just kind of looking back over the year, then, I know you've had all this coverage out on your own channel, the Easy Allies, but just personally for yourself, if you look back on the year, like, are there any highlights or just personal anecdotes from all of your travels that really stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Gamescom and TGS are kind of neck and neck because there was just so many, people there, and I hadn't been to those shows forever. That's the other thing too. I think it had been like 10 years since I had been to Gamescom, or no, 12. Yeah, it was a long time. Like 12 years since I've been at Gamescom, and like 15 years since I've been to TGS. Like forever ago. Yeah, and I'd never been to PAX, so this was my first PAX this year. But yeah, I mean, it was great to be back on the show floor on both of those shows. TGS in particular, like the last one I had been to, like TGS was a down year, and it was like their whole halls that were like half empty, and like this year was just packed. Like they were, they had sold out on tickets. And then with both shows as well, just getting to know a lot of people and being out to all hours in the evenings, just hanging out and chatting with people. And some of the best conversations I would have with somebody would be at like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And I got to get back to my hotel room.
Dude, I feel that. I feel that so much.
Amazing.
I feel that so much with PAX. It was just like, look down at my watch. Oh, it's 2 a.m. I need to get back to the hotel because I need to wake up in 6 hours to get ready for PAX.
Yeah. I have to be on the show floor at 9 a.m. Yeah. And I'm getting to bed at like 4 o'clock every night.
Yeah. Like I imagine that just only gets harder the older you get. I mean,
oh yeah.
We're all only 30, but as Jonah just said,
it was way easier for me than Huber. Huber was just getting dragged down very quickly. I think for me, as long as I'm engaged in good conversations, it's like, nice. And I'm standing up. Those two things put together, I'm just keep going. Yeah.
Do not sit down at any cost. You will pass out.
I also don't drink a lot, so I think that helps. Like if I start hitting like a beer or something, and my energy goes. Yeah.
You got to make sure you have good shoes too. I made that mistake like the first year that I was going to parties and whatnot. I did not wear good shoes, and my feet hated me for like a week afterwards.
Yeah. All right, I'll open the floor to the rest of you three guys if you have any burning questions before we move on.
I have one. Obviously, I've heard from the Easy Hours podcast that you obviously got a new career opportunity, but I want to talk about one that's from your previous life of being a massive component in what I understand was the Christian hardcore scene.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because we're massive
I was on some tours.
Here.
I was in Christian radio for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back in the 90s.
Okay. Wow. So, and did any of that cross over with when you started doing video game coverage and stuff, or had you that was like as I was saying, like was that the past life, or are you still involved in music in any way, or?
Well, one thing is, it's funny, is the person that you just shouted out, Daniel Giesland, we knew each other from those days. Back in 1999, that's when we met.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. It's just so funny because he does not strike me as a scene kid at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, just some of the same circles. But
how about that?
and then yeah, I mean, not exactly the music crossing over necessarily so much, but the just like um basically my break into getting paid for everything was because I was helping out doing short films and stuff with people at my church, and one of them was a
Oh
producer at
wow.
G4. And so one day she just
Oh,
messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want a job?" And so I went and I was a producer at G4 for 2 months, and from there, I had their recommendation and my recommendation from Nintendo World Report from my previous boss there, to get into the game trailers job. So
that's
Oh
so
wow,
sick.
that's cool.
That's so rad.
That's so crazy.
It
Just
just
how everything
shows that you
connects.
can like get in anywhere, literally anywhere.
Mm. Yep.
It's wild. Um, I got a question for you. I know you covered it a little bit just because you said it was kind of like a down year when you had passed on. But like, what's the biggest difference between going to TGS this year versus 2010? Is there like a lot more stuff in like English and whatnot now? Just because I don't know. It's got a bigger world focus rather than it just kind of being like, because I know 10 years ago, I wasn't paying attention to, or 15 years
mhm.
ago, I wasn't paying attention to TGS when it would be happening.
I think the biggest thing is that the Japanese indie scene has really risen up, right? And you
Mm.
have Bit Summit that's in Kyoto early in the year as well. But they had a whole indie hall at TGS that wasn't even a thing,
Oh.
that I went in the past. So, and some people were a little upset because I guess the last couple of years they had that whole hall, and then this year that indies were sort of shoved to like the back half of the hall, and there's like a lot more of like Samsung and AI and other stuff that
Oh.
took over the other, just like tech companies and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But they still had like like 80 top indies section as well, even outside of that. So there's just a lot more of that focus there,
That's cool.
and a lot more indie companies just on the show floor in general. Um, yeah.
Right on.
All right, before we move on, Bloodworth, I'll just give you the floor to plug anything you want to plug, wherever people can follow you if they want to, all that
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
good
I mean,
stuff.
you guys alluded to it, but we didn't actually say it. So just so people that haven't paid attention this week understand. Yeah. So yeah, next month I'm starting a new role with a company called Ukio Studios.
Cool.
They are kind of like a promotional services group for indie publishers, indie developers. Hung out with them a lot at TGS. I met them at PAX. And so yeah, I'll be doing. They basically like they have booths at these different events, and then they're hosting companies like Critical Reflex and New Blood, and sometimes like Devolver, in Japan and Asia and stuff. And so they go to a lot of other shows that like I've never been to before at all. Like they
Oh,
go to Bit Summit. They're at We Play right now. They were at Gamescom Asia and Thailand not that long ago.
wow.
So yeah, so there'll be a lot more interesting places to get out there. So I'll be helping, getting the demos experience polished up and stuff like that, as well as they also do PR. So they've been doing PR in Japan, and now they're going to be doing more PR in the West. So learning all of that, I get probably a couple hundred press releases in my inbox every week, but I've never like thought about how to write one or how to make an
Yeah.
email look good, period.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just I'm always plain text on everything I've ever written. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. But I will still be doing some Easy Ally stuff, mostly like on the back end organization stuff. But once I like kind of get comfortable with what I'm doing in the new job, I'll hop in and be on the desk here and there with the preview or whatever I'm playing or whatever.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, it's time for community questions. So our first one comes in from LF Servant 5. Should backtracking be expected in a Metroidvania? I think of Metroid Fusion, where if you didn't go back for health or missile upgrades, one of the bosses was a real nightmare.
Mm.
They don't say which one it was, but I'm thinking of that spider boss in the back floors. Like that thing was a nightmare. Yeah, if anybody has any thoughts, wants to jump in on this, should you be expected to backtrack in a Metroidvania?
I think
It-
I think yes. With my limited Metroidvania knowledge, I think my biggest gripe is if you're wanting me to do a lot of backtracking, you better have a damn good map.
That's I was about to bring up the map. It is so
Mhm.
important. I feel like because of scan visor functionality and stuff like existing in Metro Prime, like it would be the greatest boon if in any Metroid Vania game is like if you have, you know, tried to break a wall or done whatever and it says, oh, you can't do this because whatever, you know, for whatever reason, like that stays on your map. That's one of my biggest gripes with any Metroidvania map, where it's like if it doesn't give you anywhere near enough information, like you don't know what doors you haven't been through, or you don't know
Yeah.
if it's just a blue square rectangle, and you just go, okay, well, I guess I haven't seen the top of that corner of that, you know, map. So it's like, okay, I got to go backtrack all the way just to that. And hopefully that might be a breakable wall. I do wish that we got a little bit more information so that it just made backtracking easier. But I do think backtracking is essential. I love it. Like it's so fun to find all the secrets later on.
Nice. I'm wondering how you guys might feel about like I have had people that I've tried to get into the genre before just tell me that like they just hate the backtracking and the feeling lost and getting lost and the whole idea of like exploration and memorizing the map just does not work or appeal to them. Do you think like it's worth a Metrovania trying to accommodate those people, or do you think it's just like, you know, it's just not for them, and like maybe like a Souls game style where it's like people who don't want a challenging experience, it's just like, you know, sorry,
Yeah.
it's not
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
interesting because you bring up Souls, and I think that's one of the things that like Souls has brought very, intentionally into its design is that Metroidvania sense of like, oh, I worked my way through this big challenging area. I go up a ladder. I'm like, wait, I'm back here now, and I
Yeah.
think that like that moment of like recognition, was one of the, strongest things that like came about with Super Metroid, where
Mm,
you'd work your way up a tunnel and all of a sudden you're like back at the beginning of the game, and you weren't expecting it, right? And I think
yeah.
that's when it becomes the strongest. Is like you are back someplace you've been before, but now because you have all of these new tools, you just see things that you either couldn't do at all, or that you just didn't recognize because you hadn't been using that upgrade yet.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the biggest things where probably people, if they've only played Elden Ring, they miss out on is like how important like the location of the nearest save room is in a Metroid game or the Dark Souls game. So like unlocking that shortcut is like such a momentous experience. Whereas like in Elden Ring, you've got the stakes of Mariko. It's like die, repeat, die, repeat. It doesn't really matter. Um, so yeah, so there is something so special about that loop, you know.
yeah, especially when the game is really finely tuned to like really be pushing you to the limits of your resources, and then you get that, you know, uh backtrack unlocked to a safe place. You're just like, oh my god. This is just something funny I'm reminded of. I saw a clip. I have no idea if this was like edited or if this is just how the game is, but it's that game, First Berserker Kazan, which
Mm.
I understand to be more of like a linear game that's focused on the boss battles. Like it's almost like a boss rush with padding, kind of. And they still have the like Dark Souls, like, you know, this door cannot be opened from the side. And so he finds like a metal gate like that, and he literally walks like 30 feet down the wall, and there's an opening in the wall, and then he just walks back to the gate and opens it, and there's like no puzzle or no challenge, no enemy. It's just like
Wow.
maybe they did it intentionally as a joke.
Austin, you rage quit on that game, right?
I've heard it's
I didn't rage
extremely
quit.
difficult.
Yeah, I got bored. It was and like a
It,
couple of the bosses were a little difficult, but nothing was like super crazy. And then it just all of a sudden it was like, okay, now you're just gonna beat your head against the wall until you beat this boss. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. All
I,
right.
I
Cool.
I play games to have fun, not to struggle for hours and hours.
do you think
Sure.
backtracking is fun?
Um, I when you were talking about Dark Souls earlier, I do remember that first moment where like you fought tooth and nail to get through this section, and then you pop out the other side and realize it was the gate that you had looked at like an hour ago and be like, well, I can't get through that. And then being like, oh, this whole thing, this like hour-long trek through these castle halls is all connected and it's just one place. It gives it a very real sense of like actual like map instead of
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
a
interconnected
thing like a
world.
path you're going. It,
Yeah.
it feels like a
Yeah.
real world. It was
Just
so
has to be done well when it's
Yeah.
rewarding. There's
One of
bad
the
ways to do backtrack. Sorry, go, Steven.
Sorry, one of the greatest examples of backtracking and having good impact, especially like story wise, is RE Remake. When
Yeah.
you after you finish half of the game, then you come back through, and all of a sudden, all the enemies are completely different and so much more deadly. And there's multiple different reasons for that. But then there's also that door that breaks, like in Remake, that's only in Remake. If you go through it too many times, you break the handle and you can't use it again. So that like probably traumatized some people about backtracking because of the fact that it could be, fraught with danger.
All right, let's move on to the next community question from Tongue Surgery. How much modern design convenience, like checkpoints, fast travel, number of save rooms, etc., do you like for Metroidvanias?
All of them. Give them to me.
hmm
I'm all about that quality of life. Give it to me.
You
I-
would not like Hollow Knight Silk Song.
I don't like Hollow Knight Original.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think about a lot of the almost like malicious, sadistic, single-use mechanics in Silksong. Like you sit on a bench at the end of an extremely hard optional area. It's a trap with a guillotine. You're dead. Now you're
Right.
back at the beginning. You're deep into the poison swamp area. You sit on a bench. Oh, it's a trap. You fell into the poison swamp. Now you're poisoned. And
That's
now
awful.
So- but that's the extreme end of maliciousness.
That's
That's
allowed.
not
Yeah.
That's allowed one time.
right.
You can do that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time. Like in The
Mm.
Last of Us Part 2, when you go to the workbench and then you get attacked. One time. It only happens one time.
Yeah.
You get the one. Do not do that shit to
Definitely-
me multiple times. That'd make me so mad.
Definitely the greatest weakness of 3D Metroid like Prime is the fact that like nothing is saved at all, like passively. It's like it is the hard save room save. And so that is one thing that you definitely forget, as you said about in the debate about this when you miss those scans, like the amount of times I fought the big rock dude, whatever his name was,
Right.
like and yeah, you just get beaten and you're like, oh damn it, and go back and you run through that section again, and then you get finally your spider ball or your morph ball all your way up and get to it and you're sick. Oh yeah, I beat him, sick, and then you're like, I didn't scan him. You're like, why? So I do wish like that, as long as I'm happy with the safe zone and having to do the track. I do enjoy that challenge and having that puzzle ahead of you. But I do think like the passive, like the little bonuses, like if I get a missile expansion, just let me keep the missile expansion, even if I die and go back to that safe zone. Yeah. That's my biggest gripe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like it's all again like it can be done bad and it can be done not good, or it can be done good. Bad. And
It can be done bad and it can be done not good.
I think I do like it when there's not a lot of convenience if it's designed well. Like
that's because you're.
We
a
just
sicko.
talked about. Well, we just talked about the traps in Silk
Yeah.
Song, which are debatable. But when you talk about the fast travel in Silk Song, it's like you literally have to like fight a boss to unlock fast travel, and then you've got to seek out like the fast travel locations and pay for them or stuff like that, and it's very satisfying to unlock them, whereas if you're just given a fast travel point, I mean something like Dark Souls I think would just be like fundamentally different if you started out the game with fast travel and you
with
just
the Lord
every
Vessel and stuff,
bonfire was a fast travel point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anybody else have any big thoughts on convenience in Metroidvanias?
I would just say that like what you were saying, modern design conveniences that he was talking about is good, but it's more impactful when you earn it. It's just way better when you get to the point where like, okay, I beat that boss, or I discover this area or whatever, and now I've earned the right to be able to have a safe room or fast travel or whatever, compared to just, oh, I hit pause and now I can teleport over to the other side of the
Mm.
map at the very beginning of the game, because it's a remake of um, Oblivion, and they just want people to do whatever they want to do as fast as possible. So it's like
Um,
I bounced off of the remake so fast of Oblivion because of how convenient they tried to make it, where
Mm.
it's like,
they
well,
really did make it
I
really
don't
convenient.
yeah, I don't have to earn anything. I can just go
Yeah.
do whatever whenever. And it's like, I mean, where's the challenge? I don't need to struggle, but I do want to have something where I'm like working towards it. I get that sense of
Yeah.
accomplishment.
It was
Caden,
funny because it was actually like I was already 10 hours or so into playing Oblivion Remaster or whatever, and then I realized, oh, they've just given me fast travel everywhere for free without like having to go any of the cities, which did sort of defeat the purpose. But I understand it's like they just want people to enjoy the game. But
It's like all you had to
it
do
does
in the
take away
original
from
was
it.
just go to the nearest town and hire a, a wagon
Yeah,
or whatever,
a
and
wagon.
just
Yeah, exactly.
it's like
Yeah.
it's that simple. But
Caden, I'm
Mm.
curious to hear your thoughts after you get some time into Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, because
Oh, right,
that
yeah.
game has a lot of those conveniences, but I think that game is excellent.
mm,
That's also coming from someone who likes the conveniences and the quality of life in that kind of game. So
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, they also have like a lot of things that you could tweak and adjust, like
that is
dodge
true.
windows and all of that. Like very granular, finding the right difficulty for you, kind of thing.
I will say Ubisoft is really good about creating just like custom difficulties for their
Yeah, yeah.
games.
I I think though it's so funny because like Dark Souls in general is one of the only games where, unlike a narrative adventure or some sort of RPG where it says like your choices matter. It's like they literally do in Dark Souls because it auto saves no matter what mistake you make. Oh, I
Right.
killed that NPC. Oh, I did this. Oh, I failed that quest. You're done. Like that's it. And so like that really needs to be in those games, those narrative adventures, because the amount of people that just save scum and go, oh no, I want the good ending, I want the good ending. Like everyone save scummed, Mass Effect 2's ending until they're like, how do I get the right combination that Mordin doesn't die? Like, why does he keep dying for no reason? Yeah,
Make the autosave the double-edged sword that it is.
exactly. Yeah.
You reminded me of some things, Jenna, when you brought up Lost Crown, because I haven't played it, but I know about the feature of like taking a snapshot in the game, and I think that's like a really good like example of innovative convenience where you're adding like a feature to the game that's just gonna prevent the player from doing something they would do anyway, but outside of the game. It's
Right.
like, well, I could have a little notebook and write down the location or take a picture of it with my phone, but I could just do it in the game. Or like, when games have a system, I actually really liked it in Metroid Prime 3 where there's a system late in that game where it will give you a general location of item pickup that you haven't got yet. And it's like,
Mm.
if that wasn't in the game, I would just go on an internet guide and like try to
Yeah.
figure out like which
Like,
thing I haven't
like it
gotten
was,
yet.
that was kind of cool. Like for a Triforce quest at the end of Metroid Prime, like how every single thing statue just said like, "Ooh, the next little gem that you're trying to find or whatever to go fight Ripley is here," and like it just gives you a vague description, like, "Okay, I'm going to the Magmore Caverns. It's somewhere." And like that was cool. Like I think as a like just a silly treasure hunting quest at the end of that game is really fun because it is vague, but it's got enough obvious information for you to
Mm.
follow. Is really cool.
And it's been so interesting as in my adult life, like looking back on things like that, like the Artifact Hunt or like the Triforce collection of Wind Waker or something, where like as a kid, I was like, this is fun, It was like more than happy to
Right.
do it. And then I become an adult and like get into Reddit and stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait, everybody hates this shit? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. Back on the map thing, other than obviously the inconvenience of the size, but what was it called? Spirit Tracks, being able to actually write on your map. Like, I
Yeah.
wish there was more games you could do that. Obviously, it's harder, but it's so frustrating when all you've got is icons And like
Yeah.
even in Elden Ring, like there's a billion things to do in Elden Ring. You've got 100 icons. It's like why?
Steven just
Like-
wants to take a Sharpie to his TV.
Oh yeah. Oh, when I first started playing PS3 and I just couldn't handle the third-person action games, I put a little sticker with the dot for where the reticle would be for like Nathan Drake, so that I knew exactly where I could aim because it wouldn't have the reticle.
Oh,
So I could hide
okay.
behind cover
That's really
and then
funny.
just go pop out, bam, like
Yeah,
headshot.
make your own reticle.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think that that boils it down for me. I think like the best kinds of conveniences are just anything you can do to keep the player from leaving the game to like reference other sources of information, you know. So let's go on to the next question from Holden Hints. Is a jump button required for a game to be called a platformer? Notably, Bionic Commando, Toad's Treasure Tracker, and Yoku's Island Express. Shout out to Yoku's Island Express. Can all be identified as platformers without a jump button. I'll kick this one to you, Bloodworth. We'll defer to your generational knowledge here. Like, can you be a platformer without jumping?
Well, I mean, Bionic Commando is a good example. Man, but like, have you gone back and played that? Like, there's so much grinding that you have to do at the beginning just to like be able to
Damn.
survive. Because like you just like have to pick up all these like power ups to like extend your health bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like once you get past that, then cool. But oh man, such a pain. And then what was the middle? Oh, Treasure Tracker. Oh, this has been like been a
The Kyle Bossman
debate at Easy
yeah.
Allies for a long time. It's like Treasure Tracker, a puzzle game or a platformer, and I definitely would be on the puzzle game side of that.
Mhm.
To me, I don't know that I would call it a platformer. I think the only thing that would really there's a couple of spots where I guess like you get on a platform, you have to like just
You
like
might as well
stay
call
on it
You
as
can
it
like
goes
fall
across.
from one
Yeah.
thing to the
You
next.
might as
yeah.
well call every racing game a platformer then, because it has elevation. Like, you know.
Right, yeah, you get air and fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be done, but it's like you're still sort of. And then what was the third one?
Yoku's Island Express. Have you ever
Oh,
played that?
okay. Yeah,
That
because
little
it's like
dunk
you're
beetle
still,
pinball
you're
That
still
feels
adventure.
like
like
it has a jump because the
you're not
flippers
jump
give you a
button,
jump.
but yeah, the flippers kind of put
Yeah.
you up in the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, Yoku is that's a Metroidvania.
Well, I mean, if you
Yeah.
just
Mm.
boil down the essence of Yoku's Island Express, can we say that any pinball game is a platformer?
Is pinball platformer?
Mario
Although, did you
Pinball
play
is
Split
a
Fiction?
platformer.
Pinball section
Ooh.
in Split Fiction is sick.
Yeah, that's platform pinball for sure.
Is
you know?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater a platformer?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What the ones where you get off the board?
It definitely has a
Yes?
lot in common with Banjo Kazooie, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Steven, you're gonna tell me that going off a jump, grinding a rail, and then landing on another platform doesn't make Tony Hawk Pro Skater a platformer?
That's probably why I like it so much. Yes, it is. That's also probably why I like it so much, because like 1 and 2 are my favorites because they're so small and succinct, like a Banjo Kazooie level. Like that's why I love them so much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that covers it.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
The answer is it depends, but it's possible.
Maybe.
I need a jump button.
Yeah, I will say, man, having a jump button in the game just makes it so much more
Right.
easy to entertain yourself between point A to point B. Because
You
sometimes
can
like
be a
that's all the game
platformer.
is just getting from one point to another and just having a little
Technically,
bit of hip hop hooey. Like it's just so much more entertaining. But that just might be my ADHD just popping in, being like, I gotta do something right now.
being able to do the tricks in Mario Kart 8, because like, you know, people will literally
Yeah.
jump out of their seat. Like that's that's
Oh.
platform right there.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't necessarily classify it as a platformer primarily, but you know, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, platforming with no jump button.
I know that is
That's a
so
really
weird
good
though,
point.
and that is like I feel
Oh.
sorry for people that have to go back. And we're all like, these are the greatest games, some of the greatest games ever made, and people are like, you can't even have a dedicated jump button. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
But
Even-
even like a lot of the 2D Zelda games, it's like you know, there's some platforming
need-
bits with no jump button.
You need
or
an
like
item
a
to jump
item,
in a
yeah.
Well,
line.
the Game Boy games have a jump button. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was
Pretty wild.
what was the first What was the first Zelda to like 3D Zelda to have a jump button?
3D
Because
Zelda?
yeah,
Breath
because
of the Wild.
yeah,
I think
because
so.
Twilight Princess didn't have one either. Link auto jumped on
Nope.
ledges.
Yeah. They're really
Same with
afraid of you
Scarlet
falling.
Sword.
Hmm.
Crazy. A game with the word sky in the name and you can't jump. That's pretty
You can fall.
wild.
Yeah, you can fall.
Yeah.
Falling with style.
Cool. Last question comes in from Wes. The double jump, wall cling, and air dash are all classic exploration upgrade mechanics in Metroidvanias. But what are some of the more unique upgrade mechanics in the genre that you love and deserve more recognition for traversal or combat? Secondarily, do you have any ideas of upgrades that you think would be cool to add to a Metroidvania that you've never seen before in the game or in the genre?
Man,
All right, well,
something that Lost Crown does is it like it falls into like the Sands of Time kind of aspect where you can kind of like reverse time. So like you can even do it in combat, but you'll like save like echoes of your character, and then you can like be fighting a boss or something and then hit those echoes after you, or like hit the button for the echoes after you've like push the boss into them, and then it rewinds time and you're doing like slashes super fast.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
really rad. Or you can solve puzzles by going back in time. So I like the Sands of Time aspect of the Lost Crown.
Yeah, kind of hitting on kind of both sides of that. Tales of Kenzera Zao
mm,
is one of the few Metroidvanias that doesn't make those things upgrades. Like you just have that
They just
stuff
have
at
them.
the begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can double jump and you can air dash like right from the beginning of the game.
nice.
Hell yeah.
And then I think to me, the first upgrade that you get is maybe like one of the most interesting in there because it essentially allows you to like freeze the rivers, and then like waterfalls now become surfaces that you can wall jump on. And I thought that was just super cool because it's like this thing that you weren't even thinking about. Like, okay, now there's a path that I can go up that my brain would have never picked up on before.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's a really
definitely.
interesting
Oh
idea.
man, talking
Go ahead.
about it's definitely not a Metroidvania. It's a definitely 3D platformer. But even talking about that changing, freezing the river and stuff. That Ruffy, that you've played
Oh
that,
yeah,
didn't you,
yeah.
Caden?
Ruffy of the
Ruffy is like
Riverside.
that's so out of this world with great
Damn.
ideas.
Yeah.
Is
My
that
thing is
the Paper Mario like
from
game?
It kind
Sort
of
it
of.
looks
looks
like
It
like
it.
looks
Paper Mario, but it
okay.
plays like a banjo or a
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Yeah.
Mario 64. Is Axiom Verge, the glitch
Mm.
gun at the end of Axiom Verge.
Damn. That's
It
a
like
great pick.
changes the world, changes enemies, it changes like everything. So like you've known that there's a secret somewhere the entire game, and then you use this glitch gun and it like makes it either you can go through it or it changes an enemy into an item, or it was really crazy. Like it felt like I guess like the Wabberjack in like Oblivion or something. It's really fun.
Yeah, that's what's tough for me. I'm having a really hard time thinking of unique like movement mechanics in a Metroidvania because it's like they're all just overdone, grappling hooks or like, enemy
Um,
steps or
I think one of the best ones for me is the fake out, because it seemed like a Metroidvania RPG is Child of Light. You
Mm.
literally just start flying and
yeah.
then you can just fly for the rest of the game, and it's like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like it's like the antithesis of a Metroidvania, but it was just like such a cool feature.
Man, I'm trying to think really hard about
I was thinking
yeah,
it'd
go
be
ahead.
cool if there was a Metroidvania where you're playing like a ninja character of some sort, and you
Oh.
could like they added a teleport that was only worked when you're like teleporting to an enemy to like shadow step to attack
Yeah.
them or
Oh.
something, or like having like your kunai as like a shadow swap so you could like throw it and
Mhm.
then like swap it after the arc has gone off or something like that. Just like a
Doing some
less of
Naruto
a
stuff.
Yeah, that's some
yeah, so
Naruto
like
shit
yeah,
right
kind of like
there.
that, yeah, but like less of a this is your platform and this is what you have to do and this is where you double jump, and more of a I can kind of go wherever I want as long as I'm good enough with with my abilities. So
Mm.
a little creativity needs to be involved.
And that
One
again, that's
thing
like comes back to the beginning of like loving Metro, like 2D Metroid, and the idea of sequence breaking is just like something that is a mobility item that you don't think of as a mobility item, like bomb jumping. It was just like
Yeah.
so amazing for opening up a video game, and like you literally that's all you need is like add a triple jump or another way to keep elevated, like Cappy in Mario Odyssey, and like the things that video gamers will do with that is just mind blowing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
brought up Axiom Verge, and that reminded me of Axiom Verge 2, which I feel like I liked more than a lot of other people. But one of the things that you could do in that was you could hack a lot of like the enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like once you unlock that hacking ability, it just like opened up this again, like seeing the world through new eyes. It's like, okay, what does that enemy allow me to do? What does this enemy allow me to do? And yeah, so it's a pretty fun mechanic.
Cool. Yeah, I really like games that do that kind of thing in general, where you can like absorb. Well, it's Kirby, just absorb
Mm.
attacks and abilities from your enemies. And like one I played within the past couple of years that I really liked a lot was Grime, which I don't think a lot of people have played either. But one thing I feel like those types of games that mechanic miss out on is using those abilities for movement. Like it's almost always like geared towards combat, and then you still just get like the stereotypical Metroid movement upgrades. But it would be cool if there were like a number of like different types of movement abilities you could get from enemies that could get you to where you needed to go in different ways, and it became more about like skill expression of like which ones do you like the most. I guess almost in a way like Silk Song with the crests, where there's
Yeah.
just different like down stabs that affect how you play the game, but just take that to another level. Could be really cool. All right, I guess that about does it for community questions. We'll take a quick break and come back with the pitch. All right, Jonah, it's been a while since we've
has
done a
been.
pitch. To remind our audience, whoever wants to pitch, I think it'll be me and Austin this time. We'll have a 2-minute timer to give an elevator pitch for a mystery game, and the rest of you can discuss, ask me questions, and decide whether or not you would buy the game based on the pitch. So I'll hand things over to you, Jonah, to give me the countdown.
All right, Caden, it's time for you to strut that sweet little ass up to the pitcher's mound. Get us ready to go. You've got 2 minutes on the clock to pitch, sir. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
I'm going to start you guys off strong here, a real draw. I'm talking about a game that has like really bad, poorly implemented gamepad support that takes manual tinkering on the system level to make functional, and then you're off to the races. I'm talking you're a disgraced knight from a kingdom where the ruler has outlawed knightly orders, and your honor wouldn't allow you to just lay down the arms. You said, F that. And the ruler, you have to go on the run. So, naturally you grew up in an orphanage, and your orphan, adopted sister is like, hey, I've become an archaeologist, and I'm going to this remote island where an ancient kingdom was destroyed like a millennia ago by an evil dragon that was sealed, supposedly, according to legend. I'm just going to check it out, but I need a bodyguard. Why don't you come with me to this secluded island and guard me and help me with my archaeological project while you're on the lam? So you get there, and you've got this cozy little hub town that's filled with unique NPCs, and you go on runs into and it's not a rogue. Okay, I say runs. I say hub. You guys get afraid. You think a rogue. It's not. You leave the hub,
30 seconds.
go out and explore the ruins, kill things, get experience, get gold, find treasure, unlock the Dark Souls, shortcuts back to the hub, come back to the hub, spend the gold, get your new gear, spend your experience on a Dark Souls style leveling system to get your stats where you need to be to equip the gear, turn over the actual key items of historical text to your sister that she translates, which delivers the lore to you and gives you experience points, and then you just go out and do it again until you kill God at the end of the game.
Wait. Hey,
Let's go
Caden, so you know how, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago we were just talking about quality of life in games and
Yeah.
how I'm a big fan of that?
Yeah.
I'm out with the... Why did you start with the bad controller support, my guy?
Yeah, I just had to be honest, you know.
That-
What if,
that's
what if
fair.
I get what if I get out a Discord call and help you set up the gamepad support? I pro I'll buy you the game because it goes on sale frequently for like $5.
Okay, are the PC
So are we supposed
controls...
to ask for more clues, or are we supposed to guess the game?
So,
I don't know,
yes,
just
yes. Hold on.
ask questions, decide if you buy it or
Are
not.
the
then I'll reveal
PC
what the game is.
controls okay?
No. This game is you know how like there's kind of like same with a gamepad, how people have been doing it long enough, there's sort of like a default control scheme that everybody like first person shooters are like, okay, this is like the best way to set up a gamepad for first person shooters. And to an extent games are the same with mouse and keyboard controls these days. This game is so old. It's just like it was the Wild West back then. They didn't know what the hell they were doing with the keyboard. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And you keep selling to me, you're saying this game is old, so it probably looks
Yeah.
bad too.
Yeah, I got one more for you, Jonah.
Okay.
There's no in-game tutorial on the controls. It's all trial and error, and there's no digital manual. Presumably when this game came out, there was probably physical manuals, but it's so obscure you can't even find a PDF of the manual. It's just trial and error when it comes to the controls. So
This may be before this game exists, after this game existed, but like when you say going on runs, like are you going to the same location or are you going, is it like procedurally generated like maps, like
think of it kind of like Dark Souls. It's like there's bespoke handmade environments and there's the world is split into zones. It's like here's the ruins, here's like the catacombs with undead, here's like the mountain that's like frozen on the outside, but then you go in the mountain and it's like a fiery volcano and there's like fire monsters and you try to get as far as you can go without dying and then get back to the hub, get stronger, and then you can go even further until eventually you get like a shortcut.
Since it's not a rogue game, does that mean that you lose all that progress if you die?
The game is actually surprisingly generous for its time. When you die,
clearly
you
not,
just
since you have to
lose-
custom like program your fucking controller.
They did what they could. I got another one. That's funny after this. But anyway, damn it, what was the question?
If you die,
Emma
you
just-
lose everything.
What
If you
happens when
die,
you
no,
die?
yeah. When you die, you just lose 50% of your gold and you go back to the hub. You don't lose anything else. So you save like the progress you got, any key items, any experience, and you can still level up and like give the key items to your sister and like just get back out there.
Can you
It's
go
not
back
like
and
you
get your
go
souls? I
back
mean,
to
gold?
You can't actually.
quick one. All I need to know if I'm buying or not, like what is the secret sauce? Is the hub just dope and you get to meet a bunch of people, or is it like is there a particular X factor to this game?
Yeah, programming your controls.
Yeah. The secret sauce really is just the loop. It's like go out. You have no guidance except for what hints you get from talking to people in the town, and you use those hints to just make your best guess to make progress out in the world, and then you come back and level up, get back there. It's just very addictive, especially because the environments are handcrafted. It's not like this is like the fourth time I've gone through the one area and I know at the end of it there's going to be X boss. It's like you're truly like discovering new things at the further you push in. It's just the loop and the sense of discovery. It's like, ooh, I'm in a new area now. Oh, I've discovered this like thing about the lore, and yeah. Anyway.
Caden, you've done a good job at actually describing this game, but because of the technical issues, I'm out.
Understandable.
I'm more in. That's all I would
Hey.
say. Like I played enough games where I had to go and like download a different program and set that up just so that the controller worked, that I almost kind of enjoy it because it's like a little technical.
I built this.
See,
I built this game.
I hate that. That's like my biggest gripe with PC
Yeah.
games, dude.
Convenience. Yeah, you weren't made for PC gaming, Jonah. Go
Yeah,
back
I'm
to
just
console. Okay, so Jonah's out. Austin's in. Steven, in or out?
I am in for a 3-hour YouTube lore video explaining.
He's
the
gonna watch
game.
that body video.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got 2 outs and 1 in. Bloodworth, before you make your decision, I got 1 more point to try to sell you on this game.
I just realized this segment
it's a very
feels
long
so
2
much.
minutes.
This segment feels so much like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I got for
Like
you.
someone else's product.
If you kill the last enemy in the room specifically with melee and not magic, they 100% will drop a treasure chest that can have, one of their multiple
That's cool.
drop items. But also, if a treasure chest is ever struck by magic, it's permanently destroyed forever, and the game tracks you and grades you, and one of the parameters it grades you on is how many total treasure chests you open. So if you ever accidentally destroy a treasure chest even once, you can't get a perfect score.
That's a detractor. You made it sound like a good thing, and then it's like, yeah, but it actually sucks.
But see,
It's like when you get hit on the head as like Crash Bandicoot with all the
Yeah.
boxes you missed.
see, Caden doesn't like to play games because they're fun. He likes to play games because they make him miserable. That's why
So weird. I like weird, strange games.
I want to feel pain a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Blood. Are you in or out?
Probably out. But I think I might know what it is. But I'm probably
Ooh,
I gotta
okay.
hear the guess.
Yeah.
There's no way you know what this game is.
Okay, there's no way I know what it is. Okay.
No, but tell me.
It sounds a lot like Nier to me for some reason.
Oh, I could guess
The
it. It's
first
not
Nier.
near.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it
equal,
far?
equal levels of weirdness. Did you say Fark?
No, far.
That wasn't even good.
Okay. The game is a ancient artifact from Falcom Antiquity called Xanadu Next.
Mm.
How about that? It's
And
only
is
available on PC.
Only on
Is
PC.
it in the series
Yeah.
of Xanadu, like the game that was on was that on like
Yeah.
really old PCs?
Yeah. So there's a
Yeah.
really old 2D NES graphics game called Xanadu. This is Xanadu Next. It's 3D, but it's
Yeah.
top-down camera. And then
Yeah, and we actually got Fax Xanadu on NES.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And then-
side-scrolling RPG, which is a genre that we don't really see a whole lot of nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, yeah, that's my my weird game I've been playing. I finished it. I loved it.
Hell yeah.
Never gonna get
Killed
another
God.
one or a remake or anything.
He's got to rebuild his
Alright.
computer now because he fucked
Right,
with all
yeah.
the programming.
I had to install Windows XP.
Back to the good old days.
All
Yeah.
right, who's next? Austin, you pitching next? Hopefully you can.
Okay, that's me.
I think you can pitch something good.
I mean, what is a strong word?
Okay, that's fair.
Something that doesn't brick our PC.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well.
All right, Austin, I need you to walk up to that pitcher's mound, stretch your stuff. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
Okay, listen. So we're all gamers here. We've all talked about what we love and hate about games. But the one thing we all struggle with is time. There's only so much time you have in a day, so much time that you can put to gaming. And what the big thing right now is all these games that are out that are super competitive. Fortnite, Black Ops, League of Legends, all those just you get into a queue, you sit there for anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes if you're good enough and you're in the high level queues. And then you go into a game and it just sucks. You play as hard as you can, you do the best that you can, and you're just outmatched because that's just how the queue ended up. And then you lose all your rank points, you drop down from diamond to platinum or whatever it is, and it just kind of sucks. And you queue up again and you're just like, damn, I love this game, but I don't want to keep playing this. So my game, not my game, the game that I have brought today is a game that just says, fuck it, let's just all skip all that nonsense. we're not going to have any queues. Each queue is going to last anywhere between 5 and 30 seconds. We're not going to have any skill making. There's going to be no skill matchmaking involved because there's going to be no skills. The whole combat, it's flipping a coin. It either lands heads or it lands tails. You start the game and you're on one side or the other, and you either win or you lose the flip.
30
First
seconds.
person to 3 wins is a match. And then outside of the game, that's where the real meat and potatoes are. You get items, you get skills, you get money to spend, you get perks to unlock, and you just make yourself stronger. And then you go back into a match and you flip that coin again. Takes all of the difficulty, time-consuming nonsense out of games and just makes it a how big can I make that number? How fast can I make that number go up? And at the end, you break reality and you got to reset it.
Time.
So
Like,
all the out of match meta of leveling up and getting stronger has no bearing on the 50-50.
Oh no,
coin
it
flip?
does.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to be
What?
clear. You get these items and these skills that you use, and it makes your
Yeah.
points go up really, really high.
Uh-huh.
And in the match, the coin flip doesn't change. It's either a heads or a tails, but what you get out of it changes. And you can get a whole bunch of
Interesting.
points, which can progress you up a higher rank, or you can lose a whole bunch of points and drop rank really, really, really fast. Because you're working on upgrading your point side and also your multiplier
Yeah.
to said points, and they stack together, and you can get upwards of positive 4 quadrillion or negative 4 quadrillion if you really
Yeah.
fuck it
You start getting into like
Yeah.
scientific notation.
Jonah,
Um,
Jonah, never take Austin to a casino, please.
up. The first day that I picked this game up, I almost put it back down until I realized that there was no microtransactions whatsoever.
and then
I-
oh,
am like one trip to a casino shy of having a gambling addiction, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to do that.
For my birthday, I took this dude to an arcade, and he dropped way too much money on skill-based machines.
Why?
I will say, out of all the prizes that he won, he definitely earned his money worth in prizes.
oh,
Nice.
okay.
I
Yeah.
won 17 different prizes in the claw machines. So
Holy crap.
now, did the amount of money spent measure in hundreds of dollars? Yes, but what I got out of
Jesus
it
Christ.
was equal to what I put into it.
Could have bought your
It's not-
own arcade machine.
Dude, he
No.
got me this sick ass
No.
Kakashi.
Oh, all
Yeah.
worth it. It's all worth it.
Nice.
All is forgiven. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in because simply because there is a multiplayer aspect. Like, whenever I play games with like my brothers or like my wife or something, it's always some bullshit like, Talisman, the board game digital edition, and that game is just like all luck based, and it's always a hilarious time to see people just completely have a total meltdown over the results of
Mhm.
basically pure luck based, like no
Luck,
skill.
yeah.
And it takes the pressure off of me of having to get good at like a competitive game. It's just like, let's just get out there and flip that coin, baby. What will happen
There's
will
also
happen.
I ran out of time, but there was 8 different heroes you can choose from, and each has their
Ooh.
own kit that are very focused on different things.
It's a hero
And if you
flipper.
play with a
The plot
medic,
thickens.
yeah, if you can
You
play, if you play with a medic,
What the?
the medic's really good at taking the negative that you get for losing the coin flip and turning it into a positive. And then you can work off that as well.
This is literally the dumbest shit I have ever.
This is crazy.
It's so
man.
dumb. But man, dude, does it scratch that itch of
Yeah, dude.
gambling?
I-
Number go
Hey,
up, and
people-
just like building out your kit to be.
No,
just
I am
so broken.
100%. The
People would
person
have
that
said
has to
Vampire
homebrew.
Survivors is dumb.
Steven,
Come on now.
as much
Yeah,
as,
that's true.
as you're like, this is the stupidest fucking game I've ever heard, I know for a fact if you started playing this, you would love it.
Oh, really?
It's
That's bad.
it's just serotonin the game.
But
Dude,
like,
it's
I
so
am.
bad.
I don't like the luck factor of stuff. Like, it's like, yeah, Monopoly. It's like homebrew it. Let me trade. Let me break
Bro,
the game.
you like cracking packs. Come on now. You don't like the luck aspect?
I do like cracking packs, but like a coin flip is not a pack crack, dude. You're not getting a rare on a coin flip.
But what if you
Oh my
could
God,
modify?
It landed on the side. It landed right on the side, dude.
It's my ultra
shit.
rare.
Shout out to Legacy of Kane. Coin land on its edge. Okay, so I'm in. Steven's out, even though he's really in. Jonah.
Oh, I'm in. I knew what this was. I
Nice.
was hoping this was
Yeah.
the game that he was going
Yeah.
to pitch.
Any final questions, Bloodworth, before you make your
Um,
decision?
I'm curious if Blood
I
even
mean,
knows
are you
what this
talking
is.
about like a literal coin flip, or is that just an analogy?
No, it's a literal coin flip.
Okay.
Nice.
You go into a match. There's 4 people on each side. It says you're either on the Q side or the up side, or heads or tails, basically.
Okay.
And it flips the coin. It lands on one side. It tells you whether you won or lost, and then it calculates your points. And you can take. You'll start if on a loss. You'll have like negative a million points, and then because your skill or your skill tree that you spent hours on building, because I apparently love that, is you slowly roll yourself back up out of the negatives, and then you multiply what's left afterwards to make your points afterwards.
I'm only $1 million in debt, baby. I can make it back. I can make it back.
Oh, that's the whale. The whale, his character class is all about just creating money and then blowing it all and then creating money again.
Pretty good.
I'm curious, but I'm probably out in terms of a player.
Right.
You got
What if
2
I
ins, 2
won,
outs.
Austin? Hey, it's 50-50. Coin flip.
And the
Damn,
actual
you got him
name
back in.
of the game is Q up. The letter
Q
Q
up.
and up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
The one thing I didn't mention as this game is it's full satire. Like from the beginning, the first thing you do is okay, agree to the terms of service or whatever, and it's like scroll to the bottom, and you scroll down to the bottom, and it's like actually you need to scroll to the right, so you scroll to the right, and then it's like okay, now you can hit accept, and then you go to click on accept, and you're chasing it around the screen. And it's just,
You gotta
it's
tell
just
him. You gotta
fantastic.
tell him about the manual or the directions of the game or whatever. What happened to you?
Oh yeah, so the game has an email feature, and it's basically the game sending you ads almost, but it's this really funny like email system that goes through, and the first email it asks you is like, hey, do you want to know more about the do you want to be included in the email service, like subscribe to the emails basically? And I was like, no, I don't want to be subscribed to the emails. Second playthrough I realized that's where they tell you how to play the game. So I had to figure it out on the fly, so that kind of sucked, but other than that,
That's great. Okay, I've got
fantastic.
one last question. Are the graphics good enough that Jonah would like the game, or bad enough that I
I
would
don't
like
think
the
there's
game?
really graphics. It's a
There
spreadsheet.
it's not a full spreadsheet, but it's very minimalistic when it comes to like animations, but it's
Yeah,
very artistic when it comes to all of the characters and like
nice.
the what you get to see during that time. So I think it would
Cool.
fit both. You get a nice little art thing, but you're not going to be focused on the
So, have we
graphics.
discovered that there's a hack when it comes to graphics for Jonah, where if they're so bad that they stop being any graphics at all and it just becomes text-based, Jonah will like it then?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think it'll work.
I'd rather have no
Alright.
graphics than bad graphics.
All right. Oh, that's just because of book. We know you like reading. So
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go. Cool. All right, guys, we did it. Made it to the end of the podcast. Pat yourselves on the back. It's time for final thoughts. Steven, what are your final thoughts, my friend?
Just want to say, yeah, thanks, Blood, for coming. It's like awesome. Finally, I think we've got, I don't know, majority of it feels like the majority of the Easy Allies crew
Right.
through our podcast, which is just amazing. And it's always, you're always so generous with your time. So yeah, it's just been awesome and enlightening and always inspiring to hear from the big wigs. So yeah, so thank you so much.
Hell yeah. All right, Austin, final thoughts.
Obviously thank you for being here, and it was nice listening to the both of you guys debate, because it really, the passion of what you guys have for Metroid just as a whole
True
made me,
fans.
oh man, I really need to go take a crack at those again, because like
Hell
the joy that Steven had when he was talking about stuff made me really want to dive back in. So thank you.
Nice. All right. Bloodworth, final thoughts. This could be anything that is on your mind. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be related to the show at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just, thanks for having me on. And, if you see me out there, feel free to say hi.
Hell
Again,
yeah.
I'm going to be going to a lot of places I haven't been before. And like one of our patrons is like, are you coming to Brazil? And I'm like, I don't know. I would love to come to Brazil. It'd be great because I know there's a lot of, listeners down there. So,
Yeah.
so just, definitely, I'll always read the room if there's like, I'm putting out a fire or something, that's one thing, but most of the time I'm down to stop and chat with people. So
Nice. Though I do like to
Yeah.
imagine you being so chill. You're just like casually putting out a fire with a fire extinguisher and carrying on a conversation with a fan. Yeah.
Oh hey.
Yeah. Jonah, final thoughts.
Like I said at the top of the show, we got our Secret Santa going on. Thanks to everyone that signed up. Sorry I didn't shout it out on the podcast. Been juggling plates. But yeah, man, like thank you, Bloodworth. It was awesome meeting you at PAX, and I'm glad that we were able to get you on the show. Yeah. Caden, pass it on to you.
Well, I got good news for you, Austin. If you want to play the Prime games, the games are so old, and the community is so old that they developed a community hack for the Prime trilogy called Prime Hack that will allow you to emulate them on your PC with either mouse and keyboard controls or traditional FPS controls. So you don't have to deal with the weird, janky tanky, no camera control Prime movement.
Heck yeah.
Sick. Yeah, I've been your host, Caden Berthay Lane, and as always, keep debating. Bye.
Bye. Caden, mic check, please.
Snake. Snake.
Oh, that's
Crisp
terrible mic
is
check.
working overtime right now, Caden. You need to do something a little quieter.
Maybe
Too
take
loud?
Chris off.
Yeah.
Oh, CRISPR. Thanks. Snake. Snake. Snake.
Turn it back on. Turn it back on my ears.